Welcome back to the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, everybody. Eric here. Today we're taking a look at my fantasy executive scheme, Burlington Northern SD40-2. I've been referring to this unit as the Lost Colorado Southern unit. It is numbered 7941 and represents the last of the Colorado Southern SD40-2 is delivered to Burlington Northern. I built this HO scale model out of a Kato unit to match the Colorado Southern SD40-2s in the 7900 series, which were the last of the Colorado Southern power delivered new by EMD to Burlington Northern in 1979 and 1980. This unit is numbered one higher than the last actual locomotive delivered to Burlington Northern in this series, the Colorado Southern 7940, to avoid any criticism of not being true to the prototype. Not that that's the first time that I've done something like that, but don't tell anybody. I began with a Kato snoot nose SD40-2 shell because of the late production corrugated radiator inlets on that model. I added an anti-climber and shortened the nose among many other detail parts. This unit is very similar to what you'll see on the Visitor from the East series that I'm currently doing. I'll put a link to that in the description below. I painted the unit using Poly-S, C&W Green, and Tester's acrylic desert sand paints. Decals are from the microscale set for the SD70 Max. I had to make some assumptions on how to adapt this paint scheme to a Spartan Cab EMD unit based on how the Kato SD70 Mac is decorated and photos from the prototype. The executive paint scheme was brought to Burlington Northern in the early 1990s by CEO Gerald Grinstein. Grinstein took inspiration from the Orient Express, which he'd ridden or seen when he was vacationing there with his wife in Europe. The scheme was first applied to a trio of passenger units. Then the scheme was adapted for use on the coal-hauling SD70 Max that began arriving on property in late 1993. No other freight units received this paint scheme. After the BNSF merger took place in 1995, the railroad continued to take delivery of executive SD70 Max for a short time while the new company's corporate identity emerged. Inspiration for this specific custom detailed and painted unit came from a line drawing of an SD40-2 with the executive scheme laid over it that I saw online once many years ago. I cannot remember where I saw this, but I spent a lot of time in thought trying to come up with a backstory for this locomotive. I ended up coming up short, and I didn't find a JR or Maxine Warren. I didn't come up with a story like I did for the purple boxcars that you've seen early in this channel that I'll link to here. I just like the paint scheme and enjoy having something else that nobody does. One item that I did do while I was working through this unit is I fixed the electrical pickup as described in the live stream that I did a couple of episodes before this one. I currently have a Digitrax DH166P 8-pin decoder in this locomotive. Let's go over to the shop now and take a closer look at this unit, BN number 7941. We're here in the shop with an opening shot of the 7941 and the inspiration perhaps for that unit, an executive SD70 Mac, the 6917. This is a Kato factory painted unit, and this is of course, my custom painted and detailed unit here behind. We'll take a closer look at the 7941. So I wanted to walk you through a couple of the things that I did to this unit, and basically this is a very standard BN unit as far as I'm concerned, from the detail package that I put on it and things like that. Starting out with, this was began as a factory, as I mentioned before. I clamber to the front of the unit here, separate aftermarket snowplow on the front, MU hoses, KD couplers, and this is an underset coupler. I think that's like a 41 there we're using, long shank and underset. We reused apparently the factory supplied plastic grab irons on the Visitor from the East. I use wire grab irons. Typically, I like to use the wire grab irons. For whatever reason, I didn't here. The wire ones just look a little bit better and hold up better, and actually install a little more easily. Wire-formed lift rings on the top, 13 of them here, 3 here, 2 around the exhaust ports, 4 on the dynamic brake section, and 4 back here on the radiator section. I also moved back the air horn to the rear of the unit here. Like you see on most of the BN units, they like to put the air horn back there where it's warm to thaw it out during the winter months when when snow might otherwise plug those hornbills. And of course, a antenna up here on top of the cab. And you'll notice that we don't have any kind of Fink light or anything like that, no rotary beacon on this. By the time the executive paint scheme came around, BN was mostly over warning lights of that type and was gearing up for ditch lights at this point. And again, these decals here are microscale decals out of the SD70 Max set, with a white frame stripe as well came out of that set, I believe. The red separator stripes, of course, the dark green BN logo for the sides of the cab, the front, and you'll notice how we did the tapering down the nose here as well. And then, of course, we reuse the number board numbering from the SD70 Max set. The little decals for the step wells, and of course the large numbers on the long hood here. And same with the rear as far as the BN and the tapered cream color there. And then you'll notice that we have the MU hoses applied to the back and a KD coupler here and back as well. So we'll go back out to the layout and look at this unit running a little bit more. Overall, the work involved here was very similar to what I'm doing for the Visitor for the East series that I'm currently producing for this YouTube channel. More videos for that will be added to that playlist over time as the work is completed. Link to that in the show notes and right up here. The Kato SD40-2 release is now around 20 years old. There are easier ways to get to an SD40-2 coal hauler spec like Burlington Northern used in modern times. The smooth and quiet running mechanism, even by today's standards, has aged very well. And I had fun building and painting this unit. I enjoy having something unique and a little bit out in the weeds, as I described in the current issue of Prairie Ponderings from my friend and mentor, Alan Sotkamp. Find out some detail about how to subscribe to Prairie Ponderings in the show notes below. Here's where we're going to pull the pin on this episode. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the content. If you didn't, buzz off, leave us a comment, all that good stuff, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.